Once I admitted to myself how much I actually love YouTube, I started to wonder if I had plopped myself into some sort of dysfunctional relationship. I was pouring so much time and thought into everything I'm doing here, and YouTube was just flat out ignoring me. Even though I know YouTube and the algorithm aren't an actual person, I also wondered if it was healthy for me to like a platform this much, despite the fact that it sort of treats me like I don't exist. Full disclosure, I am going to give YouTube some personality traits here, so if that is not your jam, I will let you politely bow out now. But these little thoughts have been helpful for me. So eventually I realized YouTube is not the entity I am in relationship with here. It's you, the audience. YouTube is the matchmaker. I obviously don't mean romantically, and I'm talking about the audience as a group entity here. But YouTube is basically trying to match all the however many channels are out there with all the people who are showing up to watch. And that must be quite a job. I feel for you, YouTube. And I think sometimes luck or divine timing or following the YouTube rules, or perhaps all of these, leads to YouTube finding a match pretty early on. And that's awesome. A channel gets rewarded or encouraged now that they have a match. Their audience match can now grow in size and they can live happily ever after. Except I know that's not how it exactly goes, and this is an ongoing process. But anyway, but it doesn't always happen like that. In fact, I think that's way more the exception than the rule. So even though YouTube does need its creators to exist, there are a lot of creators out there. I think with the advertising piece of this and the fact that there are so many choices of what to watch out there, YouTube is mostly looking out for its audience during this matching process. It wants to match its viewers with entertaining or helpful channels that are quality and that are reliable. But what's happening for small channels is many of us are getting discouraged before YouTube actually figures out who we are. You might know how awesome your channel is, but YouTube doesn't yet. And sometimes this is tricky. For example, you might have a niche of talking about books on your channel, and maybe even more specifically talking about nature, outdoorsy books. But if the book you're covering one week is fly fishing and the next is building outdoor shelters or maybe mushroom hunting, then it might just require some patience while YouTube figures out who you are. That doesn't mean you aren't rocking it or that your audience doesn't exist. It just means YouTube needs more time to get it right. And then YouTube doesn't want to start introducing audiences if you're just going to flake on them or ghost them. So simultaneously, YouTube is looking to see if you are a channel that keeps showing up. Side note, this is all just my guessing at things based on what I've seen and what I've heard and common sense. I don't have the YouTube rulebook here, just so you know. Remember, YouTube wants viewers to choose their platform above any other streaming services. They don't want viewers feeling upset or abandoned by the channels they signed on for. YouTube wants to know that you're reliable. And that's where it gets really tough, especially for tiny or small channels, because it can feel really hard and really discouraging to keep showing up. It can feel like the algorithm hates you, or like maybe you're doing this all wrong, when maybe in actuality, it's just that YouTube wants to find you the best possible match. The audience who will appreciate what you're offering and will also keep showing up. And so when I look at it that way, heck yeah, take your time, YouTube. Of course I want the best possible match you can find for me. I know they're out there, and YouTube will help us find each other. Eventually.